Hello, my name's Amy Goodman, and I'm the co-director of the Autism Now Center. This is our 38th video in our Autism Now Answer series. The topic for this week is the Center for Future Planning, and I am here today with my colleague Liz Mahar to tell you all about this wonderful center. So, Liz, can you tell us a little more about what future planning is?
Well, Amy, future planning is creating a guide for a person who has an intellectual or developmental disability so they can lead a good life as independently as possible. A plan is important throughout the person's entire lifespan, but it's especially important after the parent or caregiver can no longer provide support.
So, what is included in a plan?
Well, the plan should definitely include reflect the wishes of the person with IDD, as well as his or her parents, siblings, extended family members and friends, and any other person in the support network. The plan should also include all aspects of a person's life, including daily routines and needs, living arrangements, finances, public benefits that they may receive, insurance policies or other sources of income, doctor's contact information and medical history, decision-making support, education history, and other daily activities and religious beliefs or leisure activities.
So, who all is involved in a future planning?
Well, the team involves a person who has IDD, the parents, siblings, other family members, friends, legal and financial professionals, and other important people in the person's support network.
So tell me, why has the ARC chosen to focus on future planning?
Well, there's an estimated 600,000 to 700,000 families in the U.S. in which an adult with IDD is living with an aging caregiver or parent, and there's no plan in place for that person's future after the parent or caregiver can no longer provide support. And you know, a lot of families don't plan because it's such an emotional issue thinking about the future. They also are not aware of their financial and legal options. So because of that, there's this continued worry and stress about the future, and then if there's no plan in place, then there can be, when an emergency comes up, there's an emergency placement or poor transitions. And so the ARC has created the Center for Future Planning to provide information and assistance to these families to encourage them to create plans for the future.
So what are some common misconceptions associated with future planning?
Well, the big one, it's many families don't think it's financially accessible, which is completely not true. There are a lot of pieces of future planning that don't involve finances. And also it's really important for families and individuals with IDD to learn about important resources that might be available to them. So taking the steps to see what public benefits or services or other programs in the local community might be available, and to enroll their family member in that appropriate program or service. Another misconception is that completing a future plan is a one-time process, and that's not true. It's an ongoing process, and a plan should be reviewed and updated at least once a year.
So, how do you get the conversation started if a family member isn't ready to talk about future planning?
Well, you know, as a sibling, I know that future planning discussions are difficult and can be really emotional, but it's necessary. So the first step to remember is if you're a family member and you know the conversation needs to get started, you may have to be the person to break the ice. So think ahead about how you want to start the conversation and break the ice. It's also important to be patient and realistic. A lot of family members might not be ready to talk about the topic. So you may have to just be patient and allow for everyone's views to be listened and respected. And it's going to be more than one conversation, and just remember that these discussions are going to help develop the plan for the future. And lastly, and you know, really important for people to get resources and information to help inform the plan.
So where would a family start?
Well, the first step is to write a letter of intent, and basically a letter of intent outlines outlines information on the person's daily needs and supports, as well as any financial and legal matters. It's really important to remember that a letter of intent is not a legally binding document. It serves as a good resource in the person's support network during times of transition. So to get started, families should definitely contact a local chapter of the ARC or a service provider to get started. The next important step is financial planning, and families should definitely create a comprehensive financial plan that includes private resources and public funds, which public benefits, that means Medicaid and supplemental security income. It's also important to include a special needs trust in this financial plan so that public benefits are not jeopardized.
So when a family has an urgent need and require immediate assistance, where should they start?
They should contact the state IDD agency. Every state has a different way of providing services. So the state IDD agency will be able to provide the family and the individual with good short-term and long-term options if there is an urgent need. You may also contact a chapter of the ARC, and if you need additional help or need help locating a chapter, please call the ARC's national office at 202-617-3268, or you can contact us by email at futureplanning@thearc.org.
The Center for Future Planning has launched its website. So can you tell us a little bit more about what the website and the information that it offers?
Sure. So the center's website provides a brief overview on future planning. It also includes targeted information to family members, friends, and professionals that support individuals with IDD, and this information underlines the importance of planning. It also provides assistance to families and individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities on areas such as person-centered planning, decision-making, housing options, financial planning, establishing daily activities, and making social connections. We also feature stories of people and families that have gone through the planning process or are going through the planning process, and we hope these stories encourage other families and individuals to plan. We know that planning is difficult, but it's possible, and so we hope the message to convey on the website when people visit is that planning is possible and necessary.
So what is this website link?
It's futureplanning.thearc.org, and we'll be adding more resources on an ongoing basis.
Well, that's all the questions I have for today. Well, thank you, Liz, for enlightening us and telling us all about future planning. I hope this was helpful. I hope it helps you with your journey into autism. And just remember, the more you know, the more empowered you will be.